Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. Today, we are updating the safety tier list. I'm glad I've had these days to catch up on these tier lists because a lot of them were super outdated, but today we have free safeties, strong safeties, all on the same tier list. We have some new names, we have some old names. A tier, we have Javon Holland, Micah Hyde, two names that were on the first tier list. We now have the Campus Heroes, Grant Delpit, Campus Heroes, Trayvon Moehrig. A lot of the UK safeties that weren't that great. We have Taylor Rapp, who's a pretty solid budget option. Down here, we have the 5'9" Tyrann Mathieu and the 5'8" LaMarcus Joyner back to back. But yeah, here's the safety tier list. Let's get started today with legend Steve Atwater. So Steve Atwater came out just 2 days after the initial safety tier list, and he's kind of aged pretty well in this game. I mean, he's still definitely a viable option. I think still an A tier option, a low A tier option, but still an A tier option. But for his price tag, I don't know if it really makes sense. I mean, I have him on a Jets team. I'm still using him. I've graduated. I don't even know if you call it graduating, but I've moved him down into the box from over the top. I feel like, we're getting, Dave Casper all over the field, 91 speed receivers. Having an 87, maybe even an 88 speed guy as your last line of defense is still a little bit scary to me. So Steve Atwater has been my user. But yeah, this card just reminds me a lot, his build and his speed. But, he can play zone and good against the run. But he does remind me most of like Grant Delpit. That's the best comparison. Both are 6'3", both are strong safeties. Delpit slightly better in coverage. Atwater slightly better against the run. But, Grant Delpit is about 120K cheaper. So do whatever you want with that information. Let's get on to the next card. The next man up is one of, I think, the best budget cards that we've seen so far this year. For just 50K, you get easily an A tier safety. Easily. Has good enough zone. Usually when they drop cards like this, they don't give him the best zone coverage, even though he has good physicals. But I know he's 5'11", but this speed for about 50K, and this speed is somewhat top tier for safeties right now. The safety position is always kind of thin in MUT. Just always kind of remember that whenever there's a good safety that comes out. There's a reason why they're always so expensive, because it's usually a very thin position. That's one thing I've definitely noticed throughout the years doing these tier lists. But yeah, good zone, good speed, good acceleration for just 50K. Also pretty solid against the run too. So yeah, strong safety, Avon Bell. I'm going to put him at A tier right behind Steve Atwater. The speed's good, the height's decent, and also pretty good against the run as well. The next man up is Troy Polamalu, 89 speed, 90 acceleration. He's 5'10", 90 zone coverage, decent. I mean, good against the run. I don't know why I said decent. He's good against the run with 90 hit power, 91 pursuit, 88 tackling. So Troy Polamalu, the only real issue with this card is his height at 5'10". But still has good speed, relative to the rest of the safeties in this game. So it's going to keep him in A tier for sure. Like, I don't think he's S tier. I don't think he really can be, because we kind of got a bunch of good safeties kind of back to back to back. So I'm going to throw a Troy Polamalu right. Yeah, I'm going to put him in before Micah Hyde, +2 speed. I'm going to put him before Micah Hyde. So Troy Polamalu before Micah, after the Javon Holland card that's been out for a minute. And Javon Holland's still a really good option at safety, especially free safety. I mean, he's a monster. The next man up is Harrison Smith. 6'2", 87 speed, 88 acceleration. This card is going to get overlooked because usually Harrison Smith cards are kind of slow. Usually when they come out, they're just outdated. Harrison Smith this year has had some really good cards. Even his core elite card, I think, was really good. But as a user, he's a really good option at 6'2", 214. Can play that zone, has the hit power, has the pursuit, the speed, the acceleration. Does remind me a lot of, just a 1 inch shorter Steve Atwater. So I'm going to put him, behind Steve Atwater and behind Grant Delpit. But he's still easily an A tier safety option in this game. But yeah, I don't think you can put them over these two guys because they're the same speed. And, Steve and Grant have an inch on him. But he's definitely in that ballpark. And next man up is our first S tier safety that we're going to be talking about today, and that is the 91 Jordan Poyer. He had a crazy week last week against the Ravens. But yeah, 90 speed, 91 acceleration, good awareness, good play rec, good COD, good agility, good zone, can tackle, the pursuit. The only problem with this card, I would say, is the hit power. That's what keeps him out of like the top 3, for example. But yeah, good height, good speed, especially for a strong safety. You don't expect to have low hit power. Usually strong safeties have the better hit power. than the free safeties usually, unless we get like a like a Sean Taylor or a guy like that. But yeah, we're gonna throw Jordan Poyer at S tier. The height's good, speed's good, and play that zone. I think he's a no-brainer S tier option in this game right now. The next man up is the AKA Kam Chancellor. 89 speed, 6'3", 91 acceleration. Can play some decent man. Usually they cheat his man a little bit, but I mean, it makes sense. He was more of like a box safety anyway. But yeah, 91 zone, elite against the run. If you've played against even his, his all Madden card, his pre-ordered card, that card was a monster. This card is just another upgrade, and he has some glitchy X factors. And 1 AP enforcer on this card too. I mean, he's a beast. He's a monster. He's a freak. Kam Chancellor, honestly, for that price is actually pretty good. Like the first drop AKA players, a lot of them really good bang for your buck. Like, he's one of the more expensive ones. But, Night Train Lane, you have, Marshawn Lynch. That was a really good drop, and their price tags aren't super unreasonable like a lot of these cards that we're seeing right now. So, yeah, Kam Chancellor, I'm going to throw him up at S tier, obviously, in front of Jordan Poyer. The next man up is free safety LTD Jordan Whitehead. I have this card on my team. Don't buy him. Yeah, don't. This card is not worth even maybe 200K. He's not. But 5'10", 89 speed, 91 acceleration, can play some zone, good against the run. The impact block and the block shot a little bit low. You definitely feel all these things on this card, as well as the height for sure. I actually already use him in the box because of his height. I have to. But we have the Jets team, so he has to be on the field, right? I mean, he has to be. So, yeah, Jordan Whitehead, no. So, we're going to throw him. He's basically just Polamalu. Like, I mean, if we go back and compare the two, I mean, is it the wrong thing? Compare, like, he's just Polamalu at free safety. That's basically what he is. That's the best comparison I have. I mean, he is better, slightly. Same height, Maybe Polamalu is slightly better against the run. Like, what's his impact block? Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, Polamalu better against the run. And like I said, strong safeties are usually better against the run than free safety. So, it makes sense. But Jordan Whitehead, he's not awful. Like, it's not like he's awful. I feel like I kind of trashed the card. But for the price tag, he's awful. And next man up, alter ego Cordarrelle Patterson. 6'2", 88 speed, 87 acceleration. 88 man coverage, 90 zone, 90 pursuit. Pretty solid against the run. Like, he's pretty solid. And you could definitely, I would hear a debate for him being S tier. I definitely would. A bunch of different theme teams. I would 100% hear a debate for this card being S tier. But I don't know. I just don't know if he's at that level. I don't know if he is. A lot of the 89 speed safeties that we have also have, some good height. But like Jordan Poyer, I mean, Poyer is better even though he doesn't have 2 inches on him. Hip power. Yeah, I mean, Poyer's, I don't think he's S tier. If we compare him to like Holland, maybe. Holland, like, they're pretty equal. They're pretty much equal. I mean, the tackle, I might take Holland over him, maybe not. But it's pretty close. It's pretty close. I mean, one is, I think, yeah, he's a strong safety, right? One's strong, one's free. You can run them both. I mean, if you have Javon Holland, Cordarrelle Patterson, you're chilling. But I'm going to put Cordarrelle right at the top of A tier, right next to Javon Holland. So now we have a card that I talked about in yesterday's video, and that is the free safety Rod Woodson. Usually he is a cornerback, so he's going to have these cornerback-like stats. But usually at cornerback, he has good tackling stats. So, against the run, this makes sense. But free safety, can play man, can play zone, can press. Stands at 6 foot with 89 speed, 89 acceleration. If we compare him to a guy like Jordan Poyer, the only reason why I have, Rod over Poyer, I mean, +1 speed on Poyer, +2 acceleration, is the coverage and like the hit power. I think it just makes Rod Woodson the better option to use, as well as Poyer's price. It's kind of the same thing as Whitehead, where do not buy his card. Like 700K for this card makes no sense when a guy like Kam Chancellor is literally cheaper. But I'm actually gonna put Rod Woodson behind Kam Chancellor. But when a guy like Kam Chancellor is cheaper than Jordan Poyer, there is no reason to buy Jordan Poyer, unless you have a Bills team or a Browns team or an Eagles team, I guess, but it is what it is. And for our final card, we have the LTD Nolan Cromwell. I played against this card a couple times, but he's a beast. I mean, 6'1", 91 speed, making him the fastest safety in the game. 90 acceleration, the jumping, the height, the weight, can play man, can play zone, the hit power, the pursuit. And I usually don't do this. This is out of character for me, but we're going to add a row, and we're just going to call it Nolan, because this is where he should really be. I mean, Nolan Cromwell, this dude's a dog, dude's a monster. Yeah, I think Nolan's on a tier by himself right now in this game. If you're watching this video, maybe even after this weekend, or especially after Team Diamonds, I'm sure he's not going to survive this. He's very close to maybe not having his own tier, but I think he deserves it. He's like, if these two right here, where's my mouse? If these two were like combined almost, it's like you're making Nolan, who I've never heard of until this game, until he dropped, until, you know, he came out in Madden 23, but yeah, I do think so. I mean, you can maybe debate him with Kam Chancellor. Maybe I went a little too crazy here. You can maybe debate him, but +2 speed on Kam, can play the zone, can play the man. The only way you would maybe debate Kam joining him or moving Nolan back down into S tier is because of the X factors, but and also the 1 AP enforcer. That's like the only real reason I would see that debate. But other than that, I think Nolan's in a league of his own right now. I really, really do. So that is the safety tier list. Our top 5 safeties currently in Madden 23. Nolan at number 1. We have Kam Chancellor number 2. Rob Woodson number 3. Jordan Porter number 4. And then Javon Holland / Cordarrelle Patterson coming in at number 5. Of course, drop a comment down below. Did I miss any names? What would you change? Drop a comment down below. And as always, I will see you boys in the next one.